So basically this is what we've done so far. Sorry about the previous video, my phone now is charged. Before my phone was down, so I had to stop it there. But funny enough, before I finished it, I actually completed it in the manner, the test which I like to run mine. So this is what we did earlier on before. Created the basic structure. Forget about this, just a comment. This one is just a comment about the stuff. So this one, nothing seems to endure. So for to run this, so you don't get any errors, it's still just the same, basically what we've done before. And if I'm to enter a value for Sunday, temperature, let's say 90 degree. Okay, get rid of this 90 degree. The temperature of my phone is running up. 50 degree, 60 degree, 70 degree. So this Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you see it calculated the temperature for the month. We get the average temperature for the month is of July is this. So but we don't, funny enough, temperature, right? Our temperature have a formula now, yeah. So but yeah, nevertheless, some divided by 7 average, then yeah, this is it. We're not converted to Celsius, so it's correct. So there's a way I love to do my things, because right now it's not showing anything, it's still boring, it's still not, to me, I still do not see anything attracting here. There's nothing amazing in this code right now, despite the fact that we made the code uh more simplified. At least it's more simplified now, but it may look confusing to begin as well, simplified as it is. There's one more thing I love to do, which is to create another array. I'll say float, and then I'll say days. Then now this time I want to create in line 7. This is an array of numbers. You can see I'm putting those temperature in here, but this time I want to create an array of strings. So you don't create an array of string the same way you create array of number. For array of number, you just do a single opening and closing square bracket, right? But for string, you do double. So in this case, I'll say maximum. I want to put in a value here. So when I'm asked, how do you know which value to put, and why do I put this value? This value is meant for, it's more like the length of the string you want to carry assign. So at least I know basically that every later I want to put now is not up to 20 digits. So that's the essence of it. So I don't mean the length to, I mean this is what I mean. The length of the string is of the character itself, not the entire array. So don't mix that up. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we have Thursday. We also have the S in this spelling. Thursday. Okay. Is this like this? Yes. Okay. Wow, I can't spell Thursday again. Okay, let me just leave it that way. Then we have Friday, and we have Saturday, and then end with a semicolon. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This is how you create an array of strings. So this is what I love doing. I love doing my code this way. Why do why did I do this in the first place? Because I have in mind to do this. I want to actually be seeing what I'm actually doing. So everything I'm doing will be visible. So I want to say enter the temperature for Sunday. Have temperature on patient S. So we have percent S and percent C, right? Because it is a string, we are using percent S. If it was just a single character, I'll make it a percent C. I've done the video on that before, like I said. You can check it out. Please do. I advise that you do. So print F, then the name of the array. So some gibberish, paste, and over here putting I, then this. So from to run this, let's see. Yeah, everything looks good. Print F, enter temperature for not on. Let me just change this to 4. Okay, everything looks good. Looks perfect. Let's see. We get an error. What is the error here? We are saying float. This should not be float. This should be char. So let's go again. Yeah, now we fix that. So enter the temperature for Sunday and say 50, blah blah. This Monday, this Tuesday, Wednesday. You can see it's not showing me the days automatically, and you are not like everything's happening like magic now. You're like, where is it coming from? You can't actually see it, but it's done. That is what I love to do. That's the beauty of using array actually. So this is it. So if you want to, it's all left for you now to choose which you prefer. Celsius. They just bought the light, so yes, I'll be making use of it. So it's all left for you now to choose which you prefer, you feel like it's okay for you. But this is just it basically. So this one also drop the link, not link, other this code in the description in case you want to get this as well. You can get it. So this is it for question 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 5C. Oh, 5B. I jumped 5B. Wow. Okay, let me quickly. Okay, but that is it for 5C. That's a program to receive and calculate the average amount of daily temperature in months for July. So that is it for 5C. Let's take a look at 5B now. So 5B says write a program that enables viewer at a cinema to select between 5 movies to watch. Wow, I've done this before. To explain this will be a lot, but okay, I'll do it anyway. So that's a program that enables viewer at a cinema to select between 5 movies to watch. Okay, let's get over to that, but first let me copy this, and okay, copy, get rid of it, then paste. You can paste this, waiting for the day it will be needed. So we have hash include stdio.h int main So let's actually get the question here. The question says, write a code that enables five user write a code that enables viewer at a cinema to select between five movies to watch. Now we have five movies to watch, right? This brings us to our array again, five movie, but this time it's going to be an array of string. So movies, let's say movies. So let me say 30. Should there exist 30? Because it won't make sense. I don't really know. Is there any name of movie that the name is more than 30 characters? Mind again. I don't really know. Okay, let's see. Except it's Nigerian movies. So let's say we have Merlin. Uh, just giving a random value. We have okay, Legion of the Six, that's too long. Just a random movie choosing. We have higher calling, higher calling. Okay, let me just. I don't want to give space. There's a reason for that. Calling, and then we have abatua. Forgive me. We have 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, the last one we have Windows open heaven, heaven open heaven. So now we have our five arrays available to us. So let's run this, forget any error at this point. No errors. Beautiful. Now let's do a print out. So I'm to print f. I print out this movie. I'm only going to get the first one. Unlike, oh, remember we can print out a variable like this using format specifier %s and then print. So we got Merlin, which is the first one. Let me get rid of, I don't want Merlin to be in my list of movies. So let me say crucified, crucified. Okay, I don't even know that movie, just guessing here. So here we are saying write a code that enable user to select between a movie, right? Okay, the user is basically saying this. So there are several ways you can write this code to make life easy for you. I would recommend you do things this way. You do a printer statement to make life easy for you. The reason for this, you are escaping something dangerous. Just say, write a printer so that says select between movies. You say enter number to select between, to select between, or to choose, choose a movie, rather to choose a movie. So over here semicolon. So the reason for this, let's see, the reason for this basically is so that you can escape it's not printing out. Print F, enter, print F, enter number to choose a movie. Let me look at it again. Okay, it's working. Enter number to choose a movie, crucified. Now in this case, what we want to do is very simple, and to make it more better, you can say, just for simplicity, you can do this. I will tell you why. this will make the whole thing easier for you. But if you feel you can cram, because the video is already getting far too long, but anyway, I'll still do it like I promise. Make a video on them. So this is what we want to do. Select number to choose a movie. So number 1 we have Crucified. So in this case now, we need a for loop. We don't even need a for loop. We don't need anything. What we want to do now, we want to enable the user to be able to enter something. So whatever the user enter is what is going to display back to us. So if you have done this just as I have, say user input, create a variable called user input, which we are yet to create. So user input, whatever user input is. So the user input is going to be whatever the user enters. So we're going to say char. Okay, in this case, since the user is going to be entering number, because what you ought to have done, let me explain now. The question says write a code that enables user at a cinema to select between movie to watch. Now the user should have select Crucified. Let's say he wants to watch Crucified. And Crucified here is a string. We are dealing with string. It's not so easy to deal with string, most especially in C. I will do it anyway. It is going to become complicated. Now, in order to escape that complication, that is why I included all these numbers here. So instead of using a string, the user will just be entering numbers instead. So number 1 automatically is Crucified, 3 higher calling, just like that. So to create that user input in user inputs. So this should actually be capital IP. So copy and paste again. Copy, paste. So assign to 0, meaning the type will be what? Short. So in this case, now I'm going to say scanf because we are receiving from the console. Scanf, so percent s because a string, okay, not a string, percent d because a integer. So in this case, I'll say gibberish, copy, paste, and add my and address, semicolon, and that is just it. With this you are good to go. So let me just add 1 or 2 words. You selected yeah, that's it. So this is just the solution to that question. This is just it. This is one of the simplest way you can go about it. So let's run it and see. So enter so one more thing, let me quickly do a printout statement. Okay, this way a for loop will not still be needed, a for loop, but basically let's assume we know what we have between 1 to 5, right? You choose a movie between 1 to 5. Let me just include that. Between 1 to 5. Choose a movie between 1 to 5. So if I'm to enter 4, now you see you selected open heaven. Now I don't really want all this to be here anymore, so let me just get rid of them. They were just for practical demo for you to see. There's no need putting those numbers there actually. So guess that's settled. So let's run it one more time. So we have 4. So you selected open heaven. Let's run it one more time. You have 2 and Batua. One more time. You have 5. Now 5 is showing this because it's out of bounds. is out of bounds. So in this case, there's nothing like 5, should be 4. Should be 4. So open heaven, which is the last movie we have. So I need to change this to 4. 1 to 4. So 5 movies actually. Okay, let me just add one just in case. Let's say uh mm, the truth, the truth. Okay, the truth. So if I'm to choose 5 now, I can, yeah, the truth. So I can fully change this to 5. So this is just it. This is just it. This is what you have to do. You can leave you can just stop here, and you this can assure your 5 your full mark, because basically you've already stated it. Everything is working based on your own term. Enter numbers, enter number to choose a movie between. Okay, enter number between 1 to, okay, let me change this. Enter numbers between 1 to 5 to choose a movie. Enter number between, so this what is going to be instead. Enter numbers between 1 to 5 to choose a movie. So I can enter uh 2. 2 is going to give me higher calling. So this is just what you can end it here, and you are good to go. You are good to go. But if you want to continue, you can choose to do something like this. You can make use of a for loop. You now say for int I is equal to 0, I is less than, oh, I have to redo that example I did before, but you can still leave it that way, but I have to do it just for any sake. I is less than 5, yes, 5. So 5, yes. I plus plus, then you can do this, and I can do a print out statement, print f, and then say uh, percent d, then dot this, then I can say percent s, and comma I plus 1, comma the name of my array, which is movie. Then I can do this. So if I'm to run this, okay, let me make this go to a new line. Each of them should be in a new line. So if I'm to run this, we get 1 2 3 4 5. So crucified, choosing open heaven. So the alignment of this thing is bad. Let me change that. Yeah. So with this, you are good to go. You are good to go. You are good to go. And this is just it, basically. This is just it. So what else? There's nothing actually. Nothing. So I can just come here. Don't know that there's no need actually. So this you can choose to add this just to make it look nice. So enter number. So mean this can add to your work. You can see the whole visualization. So enter numbers between 1 to 5 to choose a movie. So number 1 is crucified, number 2 choosing, number 3 higher calling, number 4 about 12, number 5 open heaven. So what are the essence of what I really wanted to do in that previous example to make things complicated? I think this is still it right here. So for run, you can see enter temperature value from Sunday, let's say 56. You can see it goes over to Monday just like that. So we can just keep on. Let me just finish it off. This was question, this one was C. So what I wanted to do, remember I spoke about using magic value. Here we've coded this using 7. It's actually because we know in short to be 7, right? So what if, for instance, this is to change? But you can leave it this way, although if you forget what I want to do now, I want you to know that there's no problem with that. You can leave it the way it is. Don't feel bad. Leave it the way it is. Don't. Okay. Yes, you can leave it the way it is, because this relating, it is just because it is for Sundays is, and why I'm saying leave it like this, we know it is 7. It's not going to change because we are dealing with a weekly something, right? So if it was, assuming it was something like, it was something else, you have to do this, but it's still okay if you do not do it. Just do what you understand. Just do what you understand. So what I want to do, instead of putting 7 there, I want to create a variable. I'll say float. Just clam it the way it is, because explaining the whole mystery behind it will be a waste of time. So that's what mathematics begins to come in. I'll say array length. You can give it any name of your choice, remember, it doesn't matter. So here I'll say size of is a special keyword. So I'll say size of the array here, which is in this case, what array do I want to check the size of? Is it the obviously I don't think there's any need for this. Okay, there's no need. Let me just leave this like this the way it is. Let me do it in this new example. So where we have this movie, let me just do it here. So array size of, I'll say movie, size of the movie in this case. So this and paste. So come here again, divided by size of, then same thing, paste, but this time around at index 0. So I'll do this. From to run this, I don't get any errors. Yeah, no errors. So I want to replace 5 with size of 5 with size of. The reason for this is so that tomorrow, no matter how much, if the length of my array is to ever change, if it will change to 10, this value will change along with it. There's not going to be errors. See, everything's working the same way perfectly. So I can enter a value here. I can enter 6. It will give me the selected. Oh, 6 is not really part of it. So if I enter 5, you selected the truth. So now this is good. This is good. Now we can see our number does not correspond with the actual movie. So to correct that, I can just start my index 0, make my index 0 to be nothing actually. So I can say, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this and it's going to work perfectly. So now I don't have to do I plus 1. I can just do I. Sorry, I can do I. But at this point, I want I to be from 1 instead. So now everything is in order. Crucified, choosing, higher calling, abattoir, open heaven, and the truth. So if I enter 6 at this, selected the truth. So this does it. This does it. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. Print F backup slash n. So I need to add a semicolon. So we are done with this question. I think we should just leave it here. I already love what I'm saying. This is better. This is better. It's better this way. Please, I advise everybody to follow this pattern, because the other one will be very complicated. You have to now begin to learn about string, and obviously it will now become a lot of information for you, and to get to the point, it's not going to make sense anymore, and you might not be able to assimilate anything again. So I think you should just stick to this. So let me comment this so that you know which question this one belongs to. See this is question what now? Question 5b. Question 5b. Question 5b. This is section B, right? Section B. This is section B. Question 5b, section B. So this was it. This was it. This is what I've asked everyone to do. So let me copy, move over to the next question without wasting any time. So the next question now here says, that is question 6 now. It says write a program to receive numbers of sequentially numbers. Okay, write a program to receive 5 numbers sequentially as user input and display them sequentially on 5 lines. This is simple. With what we've learned, you should be able to do this. Let's read it to get understanding. Write a program to receive 5 numbers sequentially as user input and display them on 5 lines. Now, let me quickly explain what for loop does. You see, compared to what we did before, in that previous example where we had to be doing Sundays to Saturday individually, for loop is actually, as the word sound, loop is a code that runs, a function that, or something that runs repeatedly. So a for loop is a code that runs over and over and over again till is under a certain condition. So let me get rid of this. If I'm to come here now and put 2, this is only going to run twice. See, 1 actually. So we're saying I is less than 2. So the first time it's going to run I is less than 2, so it's run I is still less than 2. As it's running, I've actually done a video on this actually. Please just check it out. If you don't see any video on it, check Java. It's the same concept, the same algorithm, just to save time. So let me undo just to save time actually. So let me get rid of all of this. So the question, write a code that receive 5 values sequentially. To make use of a for loop, we'll say int I is equal to 0, I is less than 6, because we don't want it to be up to 6, but it should be up to 5. So I plus plus. So in this case, we'll say receive scanf. So meaning scanf is going to run for many times, 5 times. That is just the idea here. So scanf, we want it to be a number at %d, and it can be also be any number. So %f, let it be a float. So we are here to create that variable we want to assign it to, but let's just leave it. Let's just put, so what's the name of the variable we'll be using? User inputs. Okay, user input. So let's actually create that variable now. We'll say float user input, user input. So I'll assign it to 0, and then I want to create an array, because if you look now, we are storing everything inside a variable. It's just going to be changing, because the question says let's display them sequentially as well. If the question have not stated that, it would have been something say and display them separately on 5 lines. So what I want to do, I want to actually create an array as well. There's no need actually for, okay, let me just do that. I'll say number arrays, so put in the square bracket, has no limit. So just do this as, so the array is empty at this point. So whatever the user enters is going to, wow, okay, let's do this instead. Let me say, let me give it a limit 5, right? But let me just make it 7 or the same 6, let it correspond. So in a way of avoiding magic value, let me just do range, create a variable called range, and assign it to 6. So I know that I don't have to be changing this manually, always range. So I can come here and put range. So this is just like normal mathematics we do, physics, chemistry, all those things. So I want to say number arrays. So this is what you just do. It's very simple. Number arrays, index of I is going to be equal to whatever the user input is. So in this case, I don't actually need this. This is just the truth. I don't need this. Let me get rid of, let me copy everything, cut, replace. So in place of I want to put user input. Is that possible? Is that really possible? Is that possible? Is that possible? Is that possible? No, it's not possible. Let me undo. It's possible, but just to keep things simple, let me just keep it simple, at least for your understanding. So at index 0 is going to be whatever user input is. Whatever user input is. So if user input is 10, 10 is going to be assigned to index 0. So it's going to run again, give you a chance to run. So if you enter 6, it's going to assign it to the next variable. And after that, once the program is complete, we want to create another for loop. So this for loop is to collect data. This one is to collect data. While this one we want to create right here is to print out data. So print out data. So that's just it. So like over here, int I is equal to, let me use J in order not to confuse anybody. That's why are you repeating this? Why are you repeating this? So you should always know to change this. In J is equal to range. So you can see anytime I change range, it's just going to automatically change. So here I will say print f. In this case is %d. Then since it's in a new line, the question says in a new sequentially in a new line, say display them separately on 5 line. So that's the essence of that format escape sequence, which is /n. So do this. I'll say arrays num arrays. So in between it I'll put my J. So this is what I want to do basically. This is what we are asked to do. This is the solution to the first question. So we can give it a try. We can run this. We'll be writing our code since we've not actually tried it out. So let's give it a try. Let's run this. So we get this error. It doesn't know what range is. So in this case, what is going on? We'll say, okay, let me pause. Mm, well, to just to make things simple, let's just change this to 6 because I know C, the problem with C is small too. um I'll code this one right now. So but we don't know what to do, so let me just print out do a printout statement, give the instruct that will give the instruction. So enter any 5 numbers of your choice. Enter any 5 numbers, any 5 numbers. So as a string, semicolon, so on. So enter any 5 numbers of your choice. In this case, we're going to put it in the name 9. Nope. There's nothing like backward M. So this case, for the first number, I want to actually be seeing what I'm doing, right? Just as we did in this place where we were seeing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I want to do the same. So I'll create we can just leave it this way. So let's see. So I can say 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, and 6. So you can see we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24. Let's do this again. Let me sorry. You notice in line 19 we are printing out the array, right, individually, but I'm using a percent %d as format specifier instead of percent %f because our array type is float, not actually short or an integer. So be sure to correct that, please. So let's try it one more time. Let's see. So say 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1. So 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1. Yep, good, beautiful. So you might wonder what is going on. Why is those why do we have those extra zeros after it? It's because you should be able to answer it right now because we are using a float. So let's say you want to get rid of them. How can you do that? Well, it's simple. You can say percent. Let me see if I still remember. Percent dot zero. And let's see. So 1, 2. Yeah, it's working. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. So yeah, this is what you have to do. So but it's not advisable you do this. What if I enter at some point I enter 5.3 and 1, 2 and 5 and 53.8, 72.9, 40.8 and 60, blah blah. So you see it's streaming out everything. So it all depends on you too, but there's no harm in doing things this way. There's no harm. So this is it for the question. This is it. So this one is question 6. Question 6A. Question 6A. 6A. So this is what we have to do. We created a variable, print any 5 numbers. So enter any 5 number. So this first for loop is to collect data. The second one is to print out data. So this is just it. This is just what you have to do. Someone might ask, okay, is there any way we can do this without using a for loop? Yes, there is, but like earlier said, it will be painful. You have to now manually come here and create a variable number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. Then at each point, this is just the way we did that first one, Sunday to Monday. You now say scan F for each, and then print all of them one after the other. So it all depends on you. But I noticed some persons might not know what to do. But just calm this, calm this. But if you're ever lost, you can, let me copy this, let me copy this. So successfully copied. If you are lost on what to do, you are confused, you can just do this instead. This is what I'm talking about. As usual, it's still very stressful. So you say float num1 is equal to 0. Everything basically will be equal to 0. So this one, okay, let me just do copy and paste, copy and paste. So before that, let me do scan F. So now we just paste everything once, scan F. So this is what you will find yourself doing manually, percent F instead. So you say num1 semicolon. So at this point, let me get rid of this. So copy, paste, that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if you do this, there's no harm, you are right, there's no wrong in doing this, there's no wrong. If you do this, you can even get your full mark, just in case you go blank on the exam or you are now confused, you don't know what to do anymore. You can just, this will be easier for you to recall, unlike easier for you to recall the algorithm, the synthesis, unlike the previous one. So it all depends on you. It all depends on you. It all depends on you. But let's just do this and see what we'll get, you know. So you can do this. Same way for that, same thing for the video and the cinema. You can do something like this as well. So your choice. So now we have our variable numbers available to us, and we have collected data for them, and we want to print them out on a new line. I think this is even much more easier. So to do this, you say format specifier. You can do this, and let me use this to explain. This will give you a better understanding of for loop. You can do this %d, okay, %f, then /n, then you say num1 semicolon, copy and paste. There are 3 things you can do here, 3 ways you can do this: 2, 3, 4, 5. But most time programmer don't think this way. Imagine if this was actually an 100, it was 100, and meaning you have to do this 100 times manually, which is bad. It's very bad. So imagine you doing this for 100 lines just to print out a statement. That is the essence of a for loop. So this is one way you can do it. I said there are 3 ways. Another way you can do this. You can do this like this point, which is probably what you should even do. So %f /n, %f again, that's for the second one, /n, %f, that's 3, 4, then 5. So in this case, you now say num1, num2, num2, num3, num4, num 5, num 6. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5. Yes, 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4 5. So this is another way you can do this. So this is more simpler than what you have over in this here in this case. So let me comment this. Let's see them at the work individually. So let's run this. We need always remember to give an instruction, right? So instruction, we print out an instruction, print f. What's the instruction here? Enter any 5 values, number, okay, number values. So I want it to be at a new line. So do this. So this is just it. So as a beginner, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. So you can say for segment error, I forgot my and again. So I left it for you to see. Don't forget to put your and. If whenever you forget to put your and, you are going to receive that error. So on your marking, when the lecturer will be marking your work, she's always going to be monitoring for this and. So you always put this and when you are dealing with the scanf. So let's go one more time. 3 2, see now it's working. 4 5, and everything is displayed out properly. So this is working as it should. It's working as it should. So this is one way to do it. So let me comment this whole thing out using multi-line comment. So using a multi-line comment, this I use a multi-line comment. Why this one is a single line comment. So let me try this one out. So once again, 1 2, you can see it actually works. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5, and that's it. So which do you prefer? So I think this is better. This is better, but you can do this as a beginner. If you can do this, you can see we did it without involving anything called for loop. So you can do this instead. It's your choice. It's there for you. But explaining what a for loop does. Now, instead of doing this, I can say a for loop. I can say int I is equal to 0, I is less than, I know is the limit is 5, right? So since it's a for loop, I'll say 6. Unless I want to say less than or equal to, I can now put 5. So since I'm just using less than, I'll use 6, semicolon, I plus plus. This is what I'll do. Then I'll come here and say, professionally, we can just leave that callable is, since we don't want to put any other thing. I'll say percent f, percent f, let me give a percent f, comma, and then I'll say okay, it's probably it's going to be difficult in a way. It's going to be difficult in a way, but that's the essence of we not using. If I do this, it's not going to work. Alright, let's just keep that. Forget I haven't said it anyway. So if I'm to do that, I have to create an array, going back to the previous example. So which do you prefer? So we can just get rid of this instead of doing this. You can do this, you can do this. Well, let me just leave it. It's left for you. It's your choice. So this is the other way to do it. So you can see this is more easier to understand and comprehend for a beginner. So copy and paste over to the next question. So the next question here says, okay, now I didn't even read the question completely. It says write a program to receive 5 numbers sequentially as user input and display them separately on 5 line using there's a condition here now. They said using a for loop. So if you use a for loop in your code, you get 3 mark. which we did in the first time. So in this case, using a while loop, for mark. Now if statement and a while loop, if statement and a while loop. So this is 5 mark. Then switch statement and a while loop. So this is still very simple. This is simple, but now in this case we can't make use of this. So if assuming all those conditions were not given, this code would have been valid. So right now it is invalid. We can't make use of this. So I have to make use of the previous code, which is what I have right here. So I have to continue from this point. So I have to continue the code. Int main, what's going on now? Okay, it copied twice. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is very bad. Let me just get rid of this entire thing. Cut. So this question is very, very um technical, but I won't use the word technical, because when you say technical, it means the question is correct and the question is logical. It's meant for you to think, but this question right here is very, very. So the person was setting is the person thinks he's just setting a question, but this is nonsense. It's it's not making any sense, because the question is not even clear. It says write a program to receive five numbers sequentially as user input and display them separately on five lines using a for loop. Do this. Okay, are you trying to say, I don't know if they're trying to so should do them individually. So say we should do this using a for loop. B, do this using a while loop. C, do it using an if statement and a while loop. Wow. Then switch statement. It doesn't really align at all. It doesn't align at all using a switch statement. A switch statement ought to have no business with this at all. But I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. We've done for loop, right? So um let's proceed with if state while loop. Let's see if we can do that. But the question does not make any sense at all. The question makes no sense at this point. Just to be fair enough. To be fair enough. So in this case, using a while loop, I'll say, well, this is going to be very, very a while loop. I'll bring out this condition right here. I'll say so long as I is less than range, so it's going to be true, right? So right here I'll create a variable called I. Int I is equal to 0 at this point. Int I is equal to 0. So here is how you use your while loop. We create the condition there. So yeah, I'm going to say I plus plus. I plus plus. Wow. Yeah. I plus plus. Then uh in this case, while I'm doing that, I'll bring out all this, cut, paste in here. Oh my god, undo one more time, copy, cut, then paste. So I'll get rid of this, and once this is accomplished, once this is accomplished, I can now, this is really bad, this is really bad, but following what they say we should do, B is just using a while loop, right? So fine, we use a while loop, but we are not supposed to be operating this way, just so you know. We aren't supposed to be operating this way. This is very, very bad. So j is equal to 0, j is equal to 0, and j is less than range in this case. So I'm saying j plus plus, j plus 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 plus, and then in this case we want to print out what we have here. So I'll say print out. So get rid of this, undo, get rid of this. So now we have our code ready. Let's see if this actually works. So let's look at the logic. J is 0, so it's going to increase, it's going to run at this line. When you get to line, at this point, let me start from the top rather. So j I is 0, so in the while loop, first one, I is less than range. Is that true? True. So because this true, is going to run. When you get to line 14, it's going to increase. I is no longer going to be 0, it's going to increase by 1. And then okay, I want to actually make this last. I want to make this last. Actually, I want to make this last. Phaser is ought to be. For this to work perfectly, it need to be up. Get rid of this. Put this below j plus plus. So now we can run this, and let's see, we get the error. It doesn't recognize this type of okay, semicolon. I know that is Python. Python doesn't recognize that pattern. So we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, and 5. So then 6. Now we are printing everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But hold on a minute. The question says print out 5 number, right? Okay. Let me reduce this to 5 so it will work perfectly. So that was my fault anyway. So you can see I don't need to go to anywhere to change anything manually. So I just, all I have to do is just to do this again, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, then see, that's it. Now let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can't actually use a while loop for that simple example. So this is what we're asked to do using a pure while loop. This will be the solution. So just the way, same way as we did for the for loop, this one is to collect data, collect data, while this is to print out data. So print out data. So this is what you have to do just to see the code clearly. We have this. So this is the code. So moving on straight to the next question. The next question says using a if statement and a while loop. An if statement and a while loop. So it is the continuation of this, but let me copy. So let me run this again just to show you something. The difference between the for loop and the while loop.
In the for loop, when we finished our code, we could not actually do anything else. But in this case of a yeah, we can't still do anything. Yeah, that's true. We can't do anything. We can't do anything. So now they're asking us to use a while loop. Now, wow, what do we need a while loop for? Is I really do not know yet, because I don't know what they're asking us to do. But just to come up with something, the question is not clear, honestly. The question is very premature. Honestly, it's not clear on what to do. Using if statement and a while loop to do what? What does the if statement? What is the rule there? But okay, we can say, just to come up with something. The switch statement is even the worst. The switch statement is the worst, honestly. I don't really know. Okay, let's just say if if this one is the printout, I have to do it here. If I don't know what to do. Let me just think of what to do. Let me put. Okay, let's just stick with something simple. Let's think of something simple. Let's say if when the user enters, so it has to be somewhere here. If when the user enters turn out to be, once again, it needs to be here. If when the user enter turns out to be, so user inputs. If the user inputs in this case turns out to be equal to, let's say, or let's say if it is less than, just to come up with something, 0. This is simpler to use. So if it is less than or equal to 0, let me just use this straight away. So we want to do this basically. If this is the case, then I don't want to run this code. I want to, if this is the case, this is what I want to do. So if this is the case, I'll print f, I'll say negative numbers not allowed. So let me just print that out. Negative numbers negative numbers not allowed. So in this case, just to satisfy their what they want, since it is stated that we should use if statement, yes, we've made use of if statement. Now this is it, we should be good to go. If we run this, we don't get any errors. So if I'm to put 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 4 and 5, see, we get our results. So let me try it one more time. If I'm to put 1, 2, then minus 5, so we have 1, 2. So if I'm to enter a negative number like negative 6, you get negative number not allowed. If I'm to do the same thing, negative number not allowed, until I do the right thing. If I ever enter 0, negative number not allowed. So I'm going to say, in this case now, I'm going to do 3, 4, then 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me do this properly so that I arrange it properly. And secondly,
I want to differentiate it for when it is zero and when it is a negative number. So this is what you should do. Uh, so when it is negative, let me get rid of this equal to. So in this case, I'll say um, else, and that's it. But for here, I'll say else if, and then write another if statement. So the if statement is user input gibberish. So user input is equal to 0. So in this case, I want to say 0 not allowed, printf 0 not allowed, 0 not allowed, allowed. So we should move to the next line. Let's try this one more time. That's it actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. If I'm to enter 1, enter -1, negative number not allowed, enter 0, 0 not allowed. So this is very nice. This is nice. Wow. So with this, we can say we are done with that. We've made use of a while loop and an if statement. So a while loop and the if statement. So this is the code in case you are screenshotting or whatever. If statement, else if, else. So this is just it. So copy and paste and to the next question quickly. So for the last one, wow. For the last question, switch statement and while loop. This is where the confusions now begins to come in. Wow. Okay, let's just do it. The same thing basically. So let me say, in case of a switch statement is more like a if statement, but actually a if statement is more powerful because you can do a lot of things. You can carry out multiple operations like conditions. You can check on multiple conditions compared to the switch statement, but the switch statement has its benefit. So in this case, let me say switch. Now what are we switching? What do you want to switch? In this case, we are switching user input. We are checking for user input actually. Switching user input, checking for the user input. So switch user input, and we'll say in case. So if the case is if it is 1, if it is 0, okay, if this is the case, then run this code, then break. Want to break, wow, break out of this switch statement. And if the case is negative, if it's a negative number, this is where the problem is now. How can I now represent? Okay, let me change this. Let me change this to something else like -1, -1, -1. So here I'll say case 0. So if this is the case, 2 days, then break. So, and that's all. So if it is not any of this case, then I'll say default. By default, we have default. I think this is if I'm not mistaken. By default, run this code, and you don't have to break. Yes, you don't have to break. You have to break. So if we this does it, this is using a while loop and a switch statement. So if it is equal to -1, uh do this. Just to test this out. Let's just to test this out. Let me so for clarity. So we don't need this anymore. Just to produce error. So it's case 1 break, case 2, case 0 break, default. So this is, I don't think we need this, right? While loop. Okay, we do. Let's just see. Okay, statement require expression for integer, float, invalid, switch. Wow, I don't. Let me just start over again. But I need this. Okay, just to start over again. The whole thing has becoming confusing. So we are saying switch. We are switching between the user input. What the user input is. So the user inputs in several cases. So we can say if it is in this case, if it is a 1, okay, -1, do this, guard this operation, and the operation is simply printf negative numbers not allowed. So break. So if I'm to run this, we get that same error. Why are we getting that same error? So let me comment this to see if it has anything to do with switch statement. So let's check %f. We are comparing between okay, for the sake of let me change this type just to check. Test this out. Let me change it to short and then change this to D. Let's see, are we using that anywhere here? Nope. So one more time, if I'm to run this network. Now the reason is because we are saying case 1 negative. We are switching between a decimal, and that's the reason for this. So for this case, you have to change your change the type in which you are, or let's try something else. But nevertheless, it is same to basically, you don't need to go deep, because if we are to say let's take this deeper, it will become very complicated. So let's just stick to the basic which we can understand, right? So write extra cases. I can say if it is 0, I can say print f is equal to 0 not allowed. 0 not allowed. Negative numbers. Negative numbers not allowed. Okay, 0 not allowed. Then semicolon, and then break out of this statement. So if this is the case, that's what will happen. Then if it's the case of default, okay, this is more like else. I'm not explaining, that's just the problem now. So this is more like if it's the user input is -1, run this, then break.
So if it is 0, run this, then break. So what if it is none of them? Else, then what? That's what default is. So if it is none of them, default will be, wow. How did I do that again? I'll say array, num array, num array, I. Is it I now? Yeah, I. So what I'm actually doing, we are getting these values. Okay. This means, okay, so we're saying is equal to whatever I is, right? So I is starting from I is 0, is there 0, is there 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me, whatever I is, no, not whatever I, whatever user input is, user input. So yes, this is it. Let's check this out. But one more thing, for this to work, so it won't work to infinity. Just to save ourselves some stress or some painful experience. Semicolon. Now let's do this. I'll say 1. Now we get this. So this is what is happening right now. This is the problem now. We are saying if, okay, we're not using a while loop, and now let's see one more time on this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we fixed that problem. So let's try entry 0, 0 not allowed. Okay, let me make it call a new line. So we've done this using a pure switch, using pure while loop and a switch statement. Basically the same thing. So we enter -1. This is -1 not allowed. The only problem here now is we can't enter. If I enter -2, it's going to add it up, so it's going to be part of it. That is the problem right now. So you see -2. So this is the problem with using switch statement. I can't actually monitor for whatsoever negative number. So unlike the if statement, I can. So I can actually say if user input is less than this. So let's try it out though, so you can see. I can see if it is less than 0. Let's see if it does. Then wow, congratulations. See, it doesn't recognize what is going on. So there's one more thing. Let's try one more thing. Let's try one more thing. So same negative of user input. So you see, it doesn't work that way. We have to provide the case. That's how if statement work. You have to be the one to provide the actual condition. So it means I have to be monitoring for an infinite number. So that is definitely not what I want. Let's say I want to even see if it is equal to I. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't recognize what this is at the moment. It doesn't recognize it. It has to be either a number or a string. So this is it for let's show one more thing. percent D, then I. It doesn't work. So let's just leave it the way it is, -1. So this is just it basically. You can add more cases. You can say case 2. You can just choose to complete it up to 5. You can say for case 2, if it is equal to -2, it's going to return that same result, which is negative numbers not allowed. So you can just keep doing this over and over and over, and it's your choice. But like I say, that would be infinitely reserve comment. So this is just it. This is basically, so wow, it has really been a long episode. We finished the past question for that year relating to C. Now the next session will be on Microsoft. Now please, thank you so much for um sticking to this moment this far, and I love for you to encourage me as well by doing the needful. You know what the needful is: liking, subscribing. It actually takes nothing from you. It takes nothing from you, just the same way you like a post or whatever. It's just a condition that the YouTubers have created as an algorithm to show that you are making impact. People actually benefiting from your channel, whatever. So that is just the algorithm. So you can help to break that algorithm if we work together. So it's just for you to hit the subscribe button. It takes nothing from you actually. It's the least you can actually do. So thank you very much. The next time I'll see you in the Excel video. Have a wonderful rest of your night or day, whichever time you're watching this. So bye for now.